vu moment for me because in 1982, I was served as vice president of the school board, and we dedicated this new elementary school. Here we are 30 years later at the rededication of this new elementary campus. The campus has a great history and has educated many students to become great Americans. I'm proud to say that my own family has been part of this history. My daughter Jerry, who attended this school, in grade school, came back and taught for 3 years in Crosby ISD. And my wife, before she went to college, she was called the bee lady. She taught the young boys and girls about beekeeping and stuff. And later, she had some of these same students in the 9th grade, and the first day they came into class, the kid said, "Gee, that's the bee lady over there." The first principal was Mr. Tanner. And I know if he was here today, he would be standing right here on stage with a very proud smile. He would be excited to see a Bandit campus spring to life, filled with children eager to learn and skilled teachers ready to make that happen. I think he would be proud of the new principal, Miss Paula Patterson, who has already demonstrated her skills as a leader, and she, together with the teachers and students, will uphold the tradition of the Crosby Cougar Pride that connects us to a historical tradition of setting the cornerstone with its encased time capsule, items captured in this historic moment, preserved for others to admire in the future. I want to thank Worshipful Master Rusty Mayfield of Sampson Lodge of Highlands for getting the Grand Lodge here today and to set this cornerstone. And I'm going to turn it over to the most worshipful Grand Master of the state of Texas, Brian Dawson.
I'm going to ask my grand officers to join me. Now, students, I'm going to do something that you're never supposed to do. As part of masonry, the guy who presides wears a hat. You never wear a hat indoors, but just don't tell my mom that I'm doing this. So. Until the development of steel frame construction in the 20th century, most buildings were erected by stacking stone on stone. Each part of the building was marked by ceremonies. The foundation stone was the first stone placed underground at the beginning of the building's foundation. The cornerstone was the first stone placed above ground. It was usually a massive stone, marking the northeast corner of the building. And at the top of the building was the capstone. The ceremonies of placing these stones were under the direction of the stonemasons who built the building, although the highest officials of the church and state usually participated, including the king and his representatives. These ceremonies were occasions for public celebrations and fairs, each marking the progress of the construction of the cathedral or castle. When we level the cornerstone for this school, we will be performing a ceremony that is more than 300 years old. The earliest record of an official Masonic ceremony for a public building was the laying of the foundation stone for the new Royal Infirmary of Edinburgh, Scotland. It is the one ceremony that connects Freemasons directly with the craftsmen or stonemasons of the Middle Ages. And it is essentially the same ceremony used to dedicate many of the great cathedrals and buildings in Europe. References to the cornerstone ceremonies are found in the Bible in both the Old and New Testament, which further indicates their antiquity from a historical perspective. However, cornerstone ceremonies today are normally symbolic and thankfully rarely involve the setting of the massive stones of granite of yesteryear. American Freemasons have been leveling cornerstones since 1734, when Grand Master Benjamin Franklin presided at the ceremonies for Independence Hall in Philadelphia. Nearly 60 years later, George Washington, wearing the apron of a Master Mason and acting as the Grand Master of Masons in Maryland, leveled the cornerstone of the United States Capitol building on September 18, 1793. The first Masonic cornerstone in Texas was leveled on February 3, 1838, when Reverend Littleton Fowler, Grand Chaplain of the Masonic Grand Lodge of the Republic of Texas, presided over ceremonies at the first Protestant church built west of the Sabine River in St. Augustine. In 1885, Z.E. Combs, Deputy Grand Master of Masons in Texas, leveled the cornerstone of the magnificent State Capitol building in Austin, Texas. In 1994, Billy W. Tinsley, Grand Master of Masons in Texas, leveled the cornerstone on the extension to the same State Capitol building. More than 115 Texas courthouses, hundreds of public schools, and numerous places of worship have cornerstones that were leveled by Freemasons. Texas Freemasons are privileged to have been invited to level the cornerstone of this new school, and we are pleased that you are here today to witness this time-honored ceremony. Right Worshipful Grand Chaplain, you will lead us in prayer.
As we gather to perform this ceremony of leveling this cornerstone, we want to invoke the blessing of divine providence on this undertaking. May all that is said and done here today remind us of our duty not only to serve others, but always to remember all the great gifts come from you. May this building serve the people of this community for years to come, and may the lives who all enter here be directed in the path which you would have us follow. Amen.
So mote it be.
Right Worshipful Grand Senior Warden, the Grand Lodge of Texas, having been invited to lay the cornerstone of this edifice, and having assembled for that purpose, I now order that this, the representation of the Grand Lodge of Texas, do now assist me in the performance of this work. This my will and pleasure you will therefore proclaim to the Grand Junior Warden, that the brethren and others present may have due notice thereof.
Right Worshipful Grand Junior Warden, it is the order of the Most Worshipful Grand Master that the cornerstone now be laid with Masonic honors. This you will proclaim to all present, that the occasion may be observed with due order and solemnity. The brethren and all persons present will take note that the Most Worshipful Grand Master will now proceed to lay this cornerstone in the Masonic form. You will therefore observe the order and decorum becoming the important and solemn ceremonies in which we are about to engage.
Right Worshipful Grand Treasurer, you will receive the artifacts and mementos for placement within the time capsule of the cornerstone. This is any cards, anything you want to have. There'll be a time capsule that we place behind the stone, and some later date it will be open, and if you want to have something of your name and number placed in there. Grand Treasurer, I think there was a lady in the kitchen that wanted to put something in there. wants to put in cash in there, now that's been done before, just let me know. I'll, at the end, I'll take it out my personal check, it'll be okay. Hey, if some other day before they put the cornerstone in, some other date that will be up here, you'll be able to, as you go, see the ceremony. Right, Worshipful Deputy Grand Master, what is the proper jewel of your office?
Square.
You will apply the square to those parts of the stone that should be squared.
I have applied the square to the stone, and the craft has done their duty.
Right, Worshipful Grand Senior Warden, what is the proper jewel of your office?
The level.
You will apply the level to the stone.
I've applied the level to the stone, most worshipful Grand Master, and the craftsmen have done their duty.
Right, Worshipful Grand Junior Warden, what is the proper jewel of your office?
The plum.
You will apply the plumb to the several edges of the stone.
I have applied the plumb to the stone, most worshipful Grand Master, and the craftsmen have done their duty.
Having full confidence in your skill in the royal art, it remains for me to finish the work. I find this cornerstone well formed, true, and trusty. And may this undertaking be conducted and completed by the craftsmen according to the grand plan, in peace, love, and harmony. What say you, brethren?
So motivated.
Right, worshipful sirs, you will dedicate the stone with corn, wine, and oil.
May the health of the workmen employed in this undertaking be preserved to them. Supreme Architect of the universe, bless and prosper their labors.
What say you, brethren?
So motivated.
May plenty peace shower down upon the people of this state, and the blessings of the boundless giver of all things attend their philanthropic undertaking.
What say you, brethren?
So motivated.
May the Supreme Architect of the universe preserve the people in peace and vouchsafe them to the enjoyment of every blessing.
What say you, brethren?
So motivated.
May the corn of nourishment, the wine of refreshment, and the oil of joy, and all the necessities of life abound among men throughout the world. And may the blessings of the Supreme Architect of the universe be upon this undertaking. And may this structure, here to be finished, be preserved to the latest ages, in order that it may promote the useful purpose for which it is designed. What say ye, brethren?
So motivated.
You, brother architect, are confided the implements of operative masonry with the full confidence that by your skill and taste a fabric shall arise which shall add luster to your fame as a master builder. May it endure for many ages, a monument to the liberality and benevolence of its founders. What say you, brother?
So mote it be.
We will now attend to the oration.
Most worshipful Grand Master, right worshipful Grand Lodge officers, past and present, distinguished guests, ladies, gentlemen, and my brethren. Why do we level the cornerstone, and what do the ceremonies mean? As previously stated by the Grand Master, one of the ancient customs that Freemasonry observes is the symbolic leveling of a cornerstone. The ceremony is as old as Freemasonry itself. It connects us directly to those craftsmen and stonemasons of the Middle Ages who erected the magnificent cathedrals of Europe. The definition of a cornerstone is a cubical or rectangular, polished stone at a corner of a building near the foundation, but not part of the foundation, and high enough to be easily read. Having carved upon it the name of the owner or purpose of the structure, the date of erection, and sometimes other data. Such a stone is frequently made hollow, and at the time it is laid, is filled with various articles current at the time, which it is believed will be interesting to those who remove the building at some distant future date. These articles may be coins, books, newspapers, city directories, etc. The tradition of deposits of various articles dates back to the time of ancient Mesopotamia. The three working tools of the square, the level, and the plumb were found on the tomb in Europe and are among the most ancient tools of operative masons ever discovered. The three elements of corn, wine, and oil have been used as dedications of buildings since the time of ancient Rome. Corn represents nourishment and plenty. Wine represents refreshment. And oil represents joy, peace, healing, and comfort. It is customary in operative masonry to place the first stone of the building in the northeast corner. The cornerstone, which is to Freemasons a symbol of morality, is placed between the north, which Freemasons consider a place of darkness, and the east, which Freemasons consider a place of light. It symbolizes man's progress from darkness to light, from ignorance to knowledge. The cornerstone was leveled by the ancient craftsmen with great care. So long as they erected the walls in line with the sides of the cornerstone, the walls would be true and square. As they built the wall above the stone, with a plumb line, so long as it remained in line with the cornerstone, it too would be true and square. The cornerstone reminds us that if we are to build any lasting structure, whether temporal or spiritual, it must rest upon a firm foundation and one which is truly set. When properly prepared, the working tools of operative masonry, the cornerstone is perfectly square, with each side perpendicular to the other. When firmly set and leveled, it provides a foundation and pattern upon which the greatest structures may be erected. Walls extending outward from the sides of the cornerstone will be square to each other, however far they may reach. The building rising above the cornerstone may attain great heights and yet remain true to the plan of the architect. So too many, the influence of our lives expand into the world around us and may reach great spiritual and intellectual heights if we follow the lines generated by the true cornerstone, well said. And so the cornerstone is a symbol and embodiment of all that is perfect and in form, alignment, and character. To the presiding officers of Sampson Masonic Lodge, number 231. We wish to express our sincere thanks and appreciation for giving us this honor and privilege of leveling this cornerstone on this public school building. May Crosby Elementary School building stand erect ever tall among the citizens of the state, and may the wisdom, strength, and justice of those who occupy it from time to time distinguish this building and this community with paramount integrity, impeccable reputation, and outstanding service. Thank you, most worshipful Grand Master.
Right Worshipful Grand Chaplain, you will lead us in prayer.
As we conclude this ceremony, may each of us go forth on our daily lives committed to live in accordance with the principles which we have expressed here today. May we be given wisdom to understand the truth and the courage to translate it into action. May the blessings of heaven remain upon this structure and go with and guide each of us as we depart. Amen.
So mote it be.
On behalf of the Masonic Grand Lodge of Texas, we want to thank Dr. Moore and the officers of the Crosby Independent School District for allowing us the opportunity to level this cornerstone. These proceedings are closed.